I would like to take a moment to talk about the Warrior Within sponsor. What an amazing sponsor and an amazing talent my sponsor is. And my sponsor, of course, is Diane Call. She's a singer-songwriter who has an album that is available for purchase now called Happy Fish and Other Delights. It contains songs about death, rebirth, and transformation. The album pays tribute to the smallest of warriors, a little goldfish with one fin called Happy Fish, who inspired Diane to start writing songs again. Be sure to check out her music page on Facebook. Please do yourself a favor and check out her music page on Facebook, Diane Call Music, www.facebook.com/Diane Call 17. You can also subscribe to her amazing YouTube channel and stay up to date on the latest music video releases, including the one for her first single, Cowboy Church. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Warrior Within. I'm your host, Jaime Bennett, and I'm going to be talking about mentally preparing for the holidays. I was supposed to talk about that on the last episode of The Warrior Within, but I had tech issues. That's all right. It happens, life goes on. So because of that, this is going to be a 2-part series. So stay tuned after this episode for another episode of The Warrior Within. I'll be talking about being safe around Halloween, taking safety precautions around Halloween, because that's important, especially when you have little ones. So stick around for that episode. As always, viewer discretion is advised, and I am going to be talking about mentally preparing for the holidays. So here we go. I'm getting this information from the internet. I'm not a professional. I'm just going to read what I see on these websites. Any opinions that I give in this show do not represent the opinions of anybody else. They are my opinions and my opinions only. So I need to put that out there. This show is not sponsored by any of these websites, but I do have a very awesome sponsor for this show, which you heard about before this show came on. So here we go. NAMI offers 10 tips to help with the holidays, anxiety, or depression. So, mentally preparing for the holidays, UC Health Today. People have the tendency to get very depressed around the holidays. A lot of times people have, either lost loved ones around the holidays, or they don't have anyone to share the holidays with. So that can lead to anxiety, it can lead to depression. There's also the whole thing of a lot of times people don't have money to get Christmas presents. And, society has kind of placed major value on store-bought products. The fancier the product, the more the product costs, the better the Christmas gift. And I don't necessarily think that that is true. I think that, handmade Christmas presents are even better because that person took the time to make a gift, especially for you, with you in mind. But the fact that, marketing, a lot of marketing happens. You need to buy this toy for your kid or this toy for your kid, and the kids see the commercials for these toys, and then they're like, mommy, daddy, I've got to have that toy. And it leaves the parents under a lot of pressure because they want their kid to be happy. They want their kid to get, what their heart desires for Christmas. But a lot of times, especially now with prices going up, parents don't have the money to get those coveted items. And I don't think that Christmas should be about that. I think Christmas should be more about spending time with your families. Any of the holidays should be about spending time with your families. Thanksgiving should be about sitting down to a meal, whatever the meal may be, and talking, having a conversation, meaningful moments with your family and your loved ones. That's what I love about the holiday season is I get to relax. I get to sit at the dinner table or sit in the living room wherever we decide to have our meal, and I get to spend time with my mom and dad, my kids, my husband, the critters, and just get to fully enjoy myself. It's not about the Christmas presents to me. It's more about getting to spend time with your loved ones or family, friends. That's what the holiday season is about for me. But NAMI does offer these 10 tips to help with holiday anxiety or depression. Sticking to normal routines as much as possible really, really helps with that. I know that my daughter, she's on the spectrum, and anytime her routine is changed around, she gets anxious, she gets stressed out, and especially around the holiday season, you have people rushing to the store getting the last minute items. You have people who can't afford to buy Thanksgiving dinner, who can't afford to have a meal, with their family. And that leaves a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, and a lot of anxiety on people. So sticking to a normal routine as much as possible would really, really, really help with being anxious, and it would really help with depression, because if you're sticking to a routine, then you don't have to focus on the anxiety aspect of things. You're setting goals for yourself every day because you're sticking to a routine. You get up, brush your teeth, get dressed, whatever the case may be. If you stick to your routines, then that will really, really help with anxiety and depression. Get enough sleep or rest. That is a big thing with me. I know when I'm feeling anxious and I'm stressed out or I'm depressed, it's because a lot of times I haven't had enough sleep, staying up until like 1 o'clock in the morning, watching a movie. I used to think that that was a good way to relax, but when it boils down to it, I'm losing sleep. I'm only getting like 5 hours of sleep and trying to make it to work on time so that I can earn money to pay for my bills, to provide food for my family, to provide a roof over my head. So definitely getting enough rest does help with anxiety, and it does help with your mentality. Let's see. Take time for yourself, but don't isolate yourself. Taking time for yourself is a huge one. I meditate. I will watch some goofy movie on Netflix, and I will sit in my bed, stretch my legs out, drink me a Coca-Cola, eat me a little snack, and just completely escape to another place. You have to take time for yourself. I know that if you're anything like me, you want to be there for others. You want to do and do and do and do for other people, and you don't really take the time to think about your needs. You don't take the time to think about yourself and what your body needs, what your mind needs to be at your 100% best self. So please take time for yourself. If it's reading a book, if it's watching a movie, if it's taking a bubble bath, take time for yourself. You don't have to take an hour. You don't have to take 30 minutes. If you take a 15-minute bubble bath, that's better than nothing. You're taking time out of your day for yourself. And that's not being selfish. There is nothing wrong with that. you're doing that to help yourself, and you're doing that to help yourself to be healthy and to be at your 100% best. Eat and drink in moderation, and don't drink alcohol if you're feeling down. Alcohol is not a good idea to drink if you're feeling depressed, because you might overdo it. It's just not a good combination. Drink you a small cup of wine, or drink you one beer. Just make sure you moderate yourself and you're not drinking because you're depressed. Make sure that if you do decide to drink for the holidays, that you surround yourself with people who care about you. If you're feeling depressed, just, drink one beer, have a glass of wine with friends or family, and do it in moderation. And make sure that you're eating properly too. Don't drink alcohol on an empty stomach. Make sure that you're eating a good meal. Make sure that you're taking proper care of yourself. That's very, very important. Get exercise, even if it's only taking a short walk. Oh my gosh, taking a walk, especially in nature. I live in Georgia. I live in some of the most beautiful scenery. And taking a walk, even if it's not a very long walk, out in nature does me so much good. It helps get my mind off of things that are stressing me out. It helps me to breathe in some fresh air, to take a sigh of relief, and just focus on my surroundings and not to stress about other things in life at that particular moment. Make a to-do list and keep things simple. If the holidays stress you out when it comes to Christmas shopping, just make a to-do list. If it stresses you out preparing the meal, make a small to-do list. Be like, okay, I've got to get these ingredients for this item for the meal, and I need to do it on this day. I need to get so-and-so this much worth in Christmas presents, or this many Christmas presents. Spread it out. Don't try to get everything done at once, and make a simple to-do list, because that will really, really help you to calm down, and it'll help you realize that it's not that stressful, that you don't need to stress so much over something that can be simple. So making a small, simple to-do list will really, really help. Set reasonable expectations and goals for the holiday activities, such as shopping, cooking, entertaining, attending parties, or sending holiday cards. Like I just said, please don't overwhelm yourself. Don't make it bigger than yourself, and don't make it more extravagant than it needs to be. People just appreciate spending time with you. People appreciate being around you. And if they're any kind of loved one or friend, they will love anything that you do for them on the holidays. Even a small gesture, they will love. So you do not have to go extravagantly. Make homemade Christmas presents. Make a homemade Christmas card. People really love that, because then they know in their heart that you took the time out, thought of them, you were considerate of them, and you made a special gift just for them. That means more than that expensive bracelet or those expensive pair of boots. Just keep that in mind. You do not have to go above and beyond for people to enjoy the holiday season, for people to be happy. Set a financial budget for holiday activities. That is a good one. You do not have to spend a lot of money for people to have fun. Play board games around the holidays. Play Pictionary. Do something with your family and friends. They'll just enjoy getting to spend time together, having simple laughs, playing board games. Board games is a cheap, easy form of entertainment. Go and get a Christmas movie from the library, or if you have Netflix, have a movie party. Pop some popcorn. Watch a Christmas movie with your family or friends. You do not have to spend a lot of money to have fun holiday activities. Listen to holiday music. That helps a lot. Or listen to music that just makes you happy. Music is good for the soul, as one of my friends always says. She says it's medicine for the soul, and I truly 100% believe that. Remember that holiday blues are short term, so be patient and take things week by week or day by day. That is a very good holiday tip. It's a very good tip for all year round. Take things day by day. Just because you're having a really bad day, or maybe you woke up in a bad mood, or you woke up depressed, just take a deep breath. Tell yourself that this is just temporary. This is just today. Tomorrow will be a better day. Make sure you get plenty of rest, plenty of fluids and proper food, and take time for yourself, please. Traditional holiday events or family gatherings, gift givings, and potentially increased workload affect many of us for several reasons. This could include financial and time pressures of travel, the compulsion or expectations to buy gifts, or the seeming need to acknowledge everyone from each coworker to the mail carrier, and the list goes on and on. I have been there. I have been there several times, and I used to stress during the holidays. I'm like, this has to be perfect. I have to make sure to send out holiday photos. I have to make sure to get my daughter the perfect Christmas dress for the perfect photo so that I can send out photos for Christmas. I don't stress so much anymore because I realize that being with my daughter and seeing her face light up on Christmas morning, even with simple presents, and getting to spend time with her and goofing off with her is what's most important. I don't stress as much anymore. Travel used to be a very stressful thing for me because I would always go to my grandma's, and I loved spending time at my grandma's. Don't get me wrong. I miss my grandma, a beautiful, beautiful lady, an amazing person, and I really, really miss her a lot. And I wish with all my heart that she was still here and that we could go have Thanksgiving dinner at her house. I did enjoy going to her house and spending time with her, but the stressful part came in, making sure that we packed all of our stuff and making sure we went to the bathroom and ate and drank enough before, drunk enough water before we leave, because it was a 2.5 hour trip. And for a kid, 2.5 hours seems like a lifetime. You have to use the restroom, and I'm hungry. When are we gonna get there? Are we there yet? It always stressed me out, but I really, really miss those times in my life, and I really, really miss the holidays with my grandma. She was a wonderful lady, like I said. I learned how to cook because I would watch my grandma cook Thanksgiving dinner for us. A big thing that has played into this whole holiday Depression is the fact that we have went through COVID, and we've been going through COVID since 2020. It has been nearly 3 years, and the holidays look a little bit different now. We don't get to hang out with as many family members now. There's COVID guidelines. We have to be cautious about, my daughter because she can't get the vaccine. That's a whole another subject that I'm not going to go into. But she can't get the vaccine because of health reasoning. Same for me. And it just makes it harder to go out and about and hang out with a bunch of people around the holidays because we don't want to take the chance of her or I or anybody getting COVID. So that's an extra stress that we have to deal with now on the holidays. This comes from the Mayo Clinic, and it's stress management. Stress, depression, and the holidays. Tips for coping. Stress and depression can ruin your holidays and hurt your health. Being realistic, planning ahead, and seeking support can help ward off stress and depression. So I'm going to go into, and I had this subject on one of my Warrior Withins, but a lot of times homelessness is a huge, huge depressing factor around the holidays. You have a lot of homeless people that are out on the streets in the cold around Christmas time, and thank God that a lot of cities do have homeless shelters or at least a soup kitchen for them to get a nice warm hot meal, especially on Christmas. But that's just kind of a band-aid. That is a band-aid. We really need to do better as a society, and if you have the money to give, please donate to charities, especially around the holiday season. There's the Angel Tree that helps get Christmas gifts for kids in need. There is Salvation Army. I believe the Angel Tree might be affiliated with the Salvation Army. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But there are several charities that you can donate to, especially around the holiday season. Volunteer at a soup kitchen. That would be an amazing thing to do around the holidays, and people would be so appreciative of that. Volunteer at a pantry, a food pantry. Donate to a food pantry. If you have an old winter coat that you are no longer in need of, please donate. That will help somebody who's out on the streets freezing, especially during the holiday season. But not only during the holiday season, I should say, during the cold season. There are homeless people who don't have anybody around the holidays. They don't have anybody to help them. So if you can afford to donate or afford to volunteer, please do so. It's very, very important. Tips to prevent holiday stress and depression. And like I said, this comes from the Mayo Clinic, and it is probably going to repeat some of the things that the other website said. But if acknowledge your feelings. If someone close to you has recently died or you can't be with loved ones for other reasons, realize that it's normal to feel sad and grief. And it's okay to take time to cry and express your feelings. It's okay to take time to mourn. You can't force yourself to be happy just because it's the holiday season. I'm not a huge fan of Christmas. I love what Christmas stands for or what it's supposed to stand for. I love getting to be with my family around Christmas time. I love seeing my daughter's face light up on Christmas morning and the boys' face light up on Christmas morning. But Christmas is hard for me because I've had a lot of sad things to happen around Christmas time. One of my husband and I's best friends died around Christmas time. my daughter's therapy cat, who was 14 years old. Granted, she was 14. She died in a very, very traumatic way around Christmas time. She ended up with kidney disease, and we were unaware. I had gotten a yearly done on her, and the yearly said that she was completely healthy and fine, so it kind of hit out of nowhere, and it was kind of a shock to us, and she was put to sleep like a day after Christmas weekend. So Christmas is very depressing for me for those reasons. I have a hard time dealing with Christmas, but I do meditate and I do take time for myself during Christmas, and that's very, very important to acknowledge that, it's okay to be sad, but it's also okay to enjoy spending time with your family on Christmas. You're not being selfish to the people who are no longer with you, and it's also okay to be sad on Christmas. Try to take time for yourself, though. That's extremely important. Like I said, it's extremely important taking time for yourself, especially around the holidays. You need to meditate. You need to do something really nice for yourself, especially if you're feeling very, very stressed. Like I said, the number 3 thing on this list is to be realistic. The holidays do not have to be perfect, like I said. They don't have to be the same as last year. And, like I said, the traditions in my family that we stick to every year is as simple as picking out an ornament every year for our tree. Sure, we can't hang every single ornament on the tree, but it is a family tradition and it's a simple one. So, you don't have to do every tradition. You don't have to stress yourself out making sure that the holidays are perfect. Just pick out that one thing that you like to do every holiday, and it can be something simple like watching The Grinch or watching a Christmas movie. It does not have to be elaborate, and you don't need to stress yourself out. Number 4, set aside differences. Try to accept family members and friends as they are, even if they don't live up to all of your expectations. Things do not have to be perfect. It goes back to the things that do not have to be perfect. Set aside grievances until a more appropriate time for a discussion. Just enjoy each other's company, enjoy the holiday season, enjoy being with your loved ones at the dinner table for a meal. Just enjoy every moment. Life is not promised, and it is short. Time flies by very quickly, and you need to soak up every moment, every precious moment you can with your loved ones. 5, stick to a budget. I had mentioned this earlier. Before you do your gift and food shopping, stick to a budget. Make a budget. Be like, if you have kids, be like, okay, I'm going to spend $50. I know that's not a lot, but say I'm going to spend $50 on them for Christmas, and we're going to make cookies and handmade items for their stocking stuffers. That is a wonderful thing to do with your loved ones. Make cookies with your kids. Make cookies for Santa Claus with your kids. That's what I do every year. I make cookies with my daughter for Santa Claus. Stick to a budget. Don't try to buy happiness. Like I said, a lot of times handmade gifts are even better because you had that person in mind when you were making it. Donate to a charity. Give homemade gifts. Like I said, start a family gift exchange. If you can't afford to buy everyone a gift, drop names in a hat and do a family gift exchange. Plan ahead. Set aside specific days for shopping. baking, connecting with friends, and other activities. Do it day by day. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to get everything done in a single day. It's impossible, and you are going to stress yourself out, and you're not going to enjoy the holiday season like it should be enjoyed. Learn to say no. That's a hard one for me. I like to say yes to people. I don't like to make people upset. I don't want to depress them, and I have a hard time saying no. But saying yes when you should say no can leave you feeling resentful and overwhelmed. Friends and colleagues, if they truly care about you, they will understand if you can't participate in every single event. It's not, if it's not possible to say no when your boss asks you to work overtime, try to remove something else from your agenda to make up for the lost time. Schedule things properly. It's about time. It's about using your time appropriately. 8, don't abandon healthy habits. Don't let the holidays become a free-for-all. Eat in moderation, drink in moderation. If you overindulge, it's just going to add to your stress and guilt. Have a healthy snack before holiday meals so you don't go overboard on sweets, so you don't get that extra piece of pumpkin pie. Eat healthy meals, get plenty of sleep, include regular physical activities in your daily routine. Try deep breathing exercises, meditation, or yoga. Avoid excessive tobacco, alcohol, and drug use. Be aware of how the information culture can produce undue stress, and adjust the time you spend reading news and social media as you see fit. I was in the United States Air Force, and that was a long time ago, but I pretty much refused to watch the news because I found that it was starting to stress me out. I found that it was adding to my anxiety, and it was making me very stressed and very, very sad. So I don't generally like to watch the news anyways, unless it's something that I really, really need to watch. Like if it's a life-altering event that's going to affect my surroundings, then yes, I will watch the news for that particular event. But otherwise, I limit my news. I limit watching the news, and I'm just not a huge fan of it. Take a breather. Make some time for yourself. I will say this again. Meditation, going for a nature walk, listening to soothing music, playing a ukulele, playing your guitar, reading a book, anything that will make you happy and will help you to relax. Take a nice warm bubble bath. There's nothing wrong with spending time for yourself, taking time for yourself. You're just trying to do something right for your body, right for your mentality, and that is not being selfish. Seek professional help if you need it. Despite your best efforts, you may find yourself feeling persistently sad or anxious, plagued by physical complaints, unable to sleep, irritable and hopeless, and unable to face routine chores. I've been there. I've been there several times. I was there today. I didn't feel like doing laundry. I didn't feel like folding laundry. I was just having a very, very sad day, and I don't know why. It's just one of those days. I think it's because, I try doing everything I can in a weekend because that's the only time that I have off, and that's the only time that I get to spend with my husband. So I feel like the pressure of trying to squeeze everything into a single weekend, and it's impossible. You can't do that. You can't squeeze everything into a single weekend and enjoy your time off. It's not worth it. Please, please, please don't overstress. Don't stress about things that you have no control over. Just enjoy peace. Enjoy the quiet. Enjoy days off. Just take a moment to take a deep breath and relax. If you are feeling depressed and alone, please seek professional help. Reach out to somebody, reach out to a loved one, reach out to a friend, anybody you feel comfortable talking to. It helps a lot. Please don't isolate yourself because that's not going to help. I hope that this episode has been informational and educational. I hope that I have helped someone. I hope that, I have made someone feel okay, that it is okay to take time for yourself. Please take time for yourself. You need to take a deep breath and realize that you can't do everything in a single day. Realize that you don't need to overwhelm yourself and you don't need to have high expectations. Please make things more simpler, simplify things, make it easier on yourself, and take care of yourself. You are important. You are loved, you are cared about, and you are important. Please keep that in mind. Until next time, and stick around after this episode because there is a second episode. But I guess until that episode, love, hugs, and blessings. Like I said, it's extremely important taking time for yourself, especially around the holidays. You need to meditate. You need to do something really nice for yourself, especially if you're feeling very, very stressed. Like I said, the number 3 thing on this list is to be realistic. The holidays do not have to be perfect, like I said. They don't have to be the same as last year. And, like I said, the traditions in my family that we stick to every year is as simple as picking out an ornament every year for our tree. It's true, we can't hang every single ornament on the tree, but it is a family tradition and it's a simple one. So, you don't have to do every tradition. You don't have to stress yourself out making sure that the holidays are perfect. Just pick out that one thing that you like to do every holiday, and it can be something simple like watching The Grinch or watching a Christmas movie. It does not have to be elaborate, and you don't need to stress yourself out. Number 4, set aside differences. Try to accept family members and friends as they are, even if they don't live up to all of your expectations. Things do not have to be perfect. It goes back to the things that do not have to be perfect. Set aside grievances until a more appropriate time for a discussion. Just enjoy each other's company, enjoy the holiday season, enjoy being with your loved ones at the dinner table for a meal. Just enjoy every moment. Life is not promised, and it is short. Time flies by very quickly, and you need to soak up every moment, every precious moment you can with your loved ones. 5, stick to a budget. I had mentioned this earlier. Before you do your gift and food shopping, stick to a budget. Make a budget. Be like, if you have kids, be like, okay, I'm going to spend $50. I know that's not a lot, but say I'm going to spend $50 on them for Christmas, and we're going to make cookies and handmade items for their stocking stuffers. That is a wonderful thing to do with your loved ones. Make cookies with your kids. Make cookies for Santa Claus with your kids. That's what I do every year. I make cookies with my daughter for Santa Claus. Stick to a budget. Don't try to buy happiness. Like I said, a lot of times handmade gifts are even better because you had that person in mind when you were making it. Donate to a charity. Give homemade gifts. Like I said, start a family gift exchange. If you can't afford to buy everyone a gift, drop names in a hat and do a family gift exchange. Plan ahead. Set aside specific days for shopping. Baking, connecting with friends, and other activities. Do it day by day. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to get everything done in a single day. It's impossible, and you are going to stress yourself out, and you're not going to enjoy the holiday season like it should be enjoyed. Learn to say no. That's a hard one for me. I like to say yes to people. I don't like to make people upset. I don't want to depress them, and I have a hard time saying no. But saying yes when you should say no can leave you feeling resentful and overwhelmed. Friends and colleagues, if they truly care about you, they will understand if you can't participate in every single event. It's not, if it's not possible to say no when your boss asks you to work overtime, try to remove something else from your agenda to make up for the lost time. Schedule things properly. It's about time. It's about using your time appropriately. 8, don't abandon healthy habits. Don't let the holidays become a free-for-all. Eat in moderation, drink in moderation. If you overindulge, it's just going to add to your stress and guilt. Have a healthy snack before holiday meals so you don't go overboard on sweets, so you don't get that extra piece of pumpkin pie. Eat healthy meals, get plenty of sleep, include regular physical activities in your daily routine. Try deep breathing exercises, meditation, or yoga. Avoid excessive tobacco, alcohol, and drug use. Be aware of how the information culture can produce undue stress, and adjust the time you spend reading news and social media as you see fit. I was in the United States Air Force, and that was a long time ago, but I pretty much refused to watch the news because I found that it was starting to stress me out. I found that it was adding to my anxiety, and it was making me very stressed and very, very sad. So I don't generally like to watch the news anyways, unless it's something that I really, really need to watch. Like if it's a life-altering event that's going to affect my surroundings, then yes, I will watch the news for that particular event. But otherwise, I limit my news. I limit watching the news, and I'm just not a huge fan of it. Take a breather. Make some time for yourself. I will say this again. Meditation, going for a nature walk, listening to soothing music, playing a ukulele, playing your guitar, reading a book, anything that will make you happy and will help you to relax. Take a nice warm bubble bath. There's nothing wrong with spending time for yourself, taking time for yourself. You're just trying to do something right for your body, right for your mentality, and that is not being selfish. Seek professional help if you need it. Despite your best efforts, you may find yourself feeling persistently sad or anxious, plagued by physical complaints, unable to sleep, irritable and hopeless, and unable to face routine chores. I've been there. I've been there several times. I was there today. I didn't feel like doing laundry. I didn't feel like folding laundry. I was just having a very, very sad day, and I don't know why. It's just one of those days. I think it's because, I try doing everything I can in a weekend because that's the only time that I have off, and that's the only time that I get to spend with my husband. So I feel like the pressure of trying to squeeze everything into a single weekend, and it's impossible. You can't do that. You can't squeeze everything into a single weekend and enjoy your time off. It's not worth it. Please, please, please don't overstress. Don't stress about things that you have no control over. Just enjoy peace. Enjoy the quiet. Enjoy days off. Just take a moment to take a deep breath and relax. If you are feeling depressed and alone, please seek professional help. Reach out to somebody, reach out to a loved one, reach out to a friend, anybody you feel comfortable talking to. It helps a lot. Please don't isolate yourself because that's not going to help. I hope that this episode has been informational and educational. I hope that I have helped someone. I hope that, I have made someone feel okay, that it is okay to take time for yourself. Please take time for yourself. You need to take a deep breath and realize that you can't do everything in a single day. Realize that you don't need to overwhelm yourself, and you don't need to have high expectations. Please make things more simpler, simplify things, make it easier on yourself, and take care of yourself. You are important. You are loved, you are cared about, and you are important. Please keep that in mind. Until next time, and stick around after this episode because there is a second episode. But I guess until that episode, love, hugs, and blessings. Welcome to the second half of this very special edition of The Warrior Within. In the first half, I talked about mentally preparing for the holidays. Halloween is that time of the year where safety precautions, safety measures need to be taken seriously to keep your children and even your pets safe. I'm going to be giving some safety tips as well as safe alternatives to trick-or-treating, especially with COVID happening in recent years. So viewer discretion is advised, as always. If you're a parent, please watch this program and decide whether or not it's okay for your child to view this, because I am going to be giving some very, very helpful safety tips. So here we go. Obviously, trick-or-treating happens when it's dark outside. So to keep your child safe, they need to be seen. They need to be seen and they need to be able to see. So the best way to do that is for them to use reflection tape. Make sure that their costumes have reflection tape on them. Make sure that they have a flashlight as well as glow sticks or a light up necklace so that cars can see your child when they are out trick-or-treating. Make sure that if your child is 12 years or younger, that they are with an adult or an older sibling. Make sure that they're supervised. Anything can happen. Children get kidnapped more often on Halloween. Costumes. That is another safety measure that you need to take. Make sure that your child's costume fits them. Make sure that they don't have, any material near their shoes. It can become a tripping hazard. You don't want that. You don't want them to trip out in traffic. You don't want them to trip and fall down some stairs. So you need to make sure that your child's costume fits them. Also, make sure that if you have an older child that's going to be going to a Halloween party per se, make sure that they have the ability to keep in touch with you. Make sure that they take a cell phone with them and that they check in with you every so often so that you know that they are safe and sound and having fun. Also, even if you go to your neighborhood and even if it's considered a friendly neighborhood, no one's to be trusted. You can't just trust that candy will be safe. You need to make sure that your child's candy has not been tampered with. You need to make sure that the wrapping is intact, that there's no weird residue on the outside of the wrapping, and that there is no holes in the wrapping paper. There are some very, very mean-natured people, especially on Halloween. They come out of the woodwork and they will inject your child's candy with drugs. Because they get some kind of a thrill out of sending a child to the hospital. So please, please, please make sure that you check your child's candy. I have a hair sticking up. It's running me nuts. My hair is crazy. Just make sure that you check your child's candy. Razor blades do happen. It's not just part of a horror film. It does happen. They will insert razor blades, they will insert nails, they will insert tacks, anything that could harm your child or worse, hospitalize your child, or even worse than that. Candy is not worth your child's life and it is not worth their health. I have not felt safe in the recent years to take my child trick-or-treating in any neighborhood. We used to take our daughter trick-or-treating in a neighboring town because they would put up Halloween decorations. It seemed like a safe place to be. But in recent years, with COVID happening and now monkeypox, we haven't felt safe taking our daughter out trick-or-treating in the general public. Another safety measure that you need to take is make sure that your child does not go trick-or-treating in dimly lit areas. That is dangerous. Anything can happen. Your child can be kidnapped. Your child could get hurt because they can't see where they're going. They could get ran over. Anything could happen. So make sure that they go in crowded areas that is very well lit. The more trick-or-treaters and the more people that are in an area, the less likely your child is to get kidnapped. And like I said, make sure your child does not go trick-or-treating alone. Make sure that they have somebody, an adult with them, an older sibling with them, keeping an eye out for them and making sure that they have a good, safe, happy time. Trick-or-treating is nostalgic for me. It's that time of the year where kids are having fun. They get to dress up as their favorite character, and they deserve to enjoy the season without worrying about creeps and without worrying about getting hurt. So just take the safety measures and make sure that your child is safe. Make sure your child looks both ways before they cross the road, that they don't just dart out in traffic. I know that they're excited to show off their Halloween costumes. I know that they're excited to go trick-or-treating. They get to see other kids around their age dressing up in other favorite characters. Just make sure that your child is being safe, that they look both ways, and that they make eye contact with the drivers before crossing the road. They need to be aware of their surroundings, and they need to be aware that anything can happen. Also, If you are a single parent and you're taking your child trick-or-treating, make sure you have the means of protecting yourself and your child, because adults can get napped. Adults can be taken. So, with that in mind, carry a can of mace with you. I hate to say that, but carry a can of mace with you. A lot of horrible things happen, especially on Halloween. Be aware of your surroundings. I will say that again. Watch your back and just make sure you are aware of everything. You have to be extra alert. It's not just human beings that need to be safe on Halloween. If you have the ability to lock up your beloved dog or your beloved cat, your pet, please lock them up, especially on Halloween. There are a lot of mean-natured people who come out, especially on Halloween. And I hate to say it, a lot of cult activity happens on Halloween, and they will kill a cat. They will kill a dog because that's part of whatever cult activity that they are doing. So please lock your animals up and keep them safe. Like I said, I don't take my daughter out trick-or-treating. There are so many safe alternatives that you can do, and you can still have fun, and they can still dress up in their wonderful Halloween costume, and I'm going to go through those momentarily. Another thing that you need to keep in mind on Halloween is there are going to be dogs that are out and about. They really should be kept up in their pens, but there's aggressive dogs that are going to be out and about, and all of the commotion of trick-or-treaters and yelling and giggling and all that might get them worked up. So be aware of dogs that are running loose in the neighborhoods. Make sure you're keeping an eye out for that. You don't want, a dog to attack your child because they're in a costume and the dog doesn't see that it's a human being that's under that costume. So dogs have the ability of getting scared, and they do have the ability of attacking when they don't understand what's going on because they get scared. It's flight or fight. And with some dogs, because they're aggressive, it's more of a fight response. So just be extra aware of your surroundings, be extra cautious, go in crowded areas that are well lit, and make sure that your child is supervised. And like I said, with the older children, if they're going to a Halloween party, make sure that you give them the rules to stay safe and make sure that they have their cell phone on them so that they can check in with you and so that you know that your child is safe and healthy. Now for the safe alternatives to trick-or-treating. There is a huge list of safe alternatives for trick-or-treating, and a lot of them are really, really awesome. So here we go. You can go to trunk or treat. I have taken my children to trunk or treat before, and they're all different, like the same general concept, but I've been to some that have been different. It is a very safe alternative. These are reputable people. A lot of times it happens at school or it happens at churches. So the trunk or treat, one of the ones that I had taken my children to was at a church, and it was a Halloween carnival. And what was really awesome is a lot of the trunk or treat, participants had games at their trunk, and your child would play games to win a trick-or-treat prize. And I thought that was really fun. It was a awesome alternative to trick-or-treating, and it was safe. It was safe and it was fun. They had food booths at the trunk or treat, sorry. They had food booths at the trunk or treat, and your child, it was all free and it was provided by the church. Your child would get so many tickets, and like a hot dog would cost like 2 tickets, and they could get chips and they could get a soda, and they can get, different foods there. They also had bounce houses. They had games, like I said. They had trick-or-treat bags. It was so much fun, and your child still gets to dress up in their Halloween costume, and they still get to participate in trick-or-treating just in a different fashion. And I thought that that was very interesting. It was the first time that I'd have ever heard of trunk or treat, and I am grateful to whoever created that idea, because it is a wonderful concept and it is a safe alternative to trick-or-treating. You can also have a Halloween party. You can let your child invite over their friends, and they can still dress up in their Halloween costumes. You can have a Halloween costume contest where you hand out candy as prizes. You can have a pumpkin decorating contest. You can have good old-fashioned apple bobbing. You can have different games at this party where candy is the prize. You can also have a Halloween pajama party and let your child's friends have a sleepover, or have a slumber party with your child and make it a game night or a movie night, or both. Order some pizza and watch some Halloween kid-friendly movies and play board games. There's nothing to say that you have to be extravagant with Halloween. You don't have to do a whole lot for your child to be happy. They get to wear their costume still, they're happy. If they're getting candy, they're happy. So you don't have to go to do anything elaborate for your child to enjoy a safe Halloween. Like I said, you can have a Halloween party, you can have pumpkin decorating contests, you can have family game night, you can have family pajama party, pizza party, watch some movies. There's so much that you can do that's a safe alternative to trick-or-treating. You can also have a scavenger hunt. You can make a pirate's map, and the candy is the treasure. That's a safe alternative. And then when I was looking up safe alternatives on the internet for Halloween and for trick-or-treating, I came across this one that was really, really awesome. I tell you, my hair is sticking up. No matter what I do, that piece of hair just keeps sticking up. Um, hey, Life 101, this is me. This is 100% Jaime. Hair sticking up, no makeup, but it's all good. um, so, like I said, there's this one that I came across on the internet while I was doing research and trying to find safe alternatives to trick-or-treating. Take your child to a nursing home. Let them visit the people at the nursing home. That will be so wonderful, because they will enjoy seeing your child in their costume. They will enjoy the company, and what an awesome way to celebrate Halloween, by taking your child to a nursing home and spending some time with someone who's going to get so much joy out of seeing your child, out of having company, and getting to see your child's Halloween costume. What we do with my daughter is we will order pizza, and then we will take her to her grandparents to trick or treat in her Halloween costume. We'll take photos of her in her Halloween costume, of course, gotta have photos. And then we will take her to Walmart and let her pick out her favorite candy. Sometimes we'll let her pick out a movie. to watch that night, a movie that she doesn't have, and she really enjoys picking out, they have like $5 movies at Walmart. You don't have to get anything too expensive. She can pick out, a $5 movie that she doesn't own, and she can watch that. Or we go home and we watch some movies on Netflix. A lot of times they have like Hocus Pocus on Netflix, but we also have Disney Plus, and Hocus Pocus 2 is out. If you haven't checked out Hocus Pocus 2, you really need to. It's a great movie, but I might be biased because that is my favorite movie to watch every Halloween with my daughter. It's about making memories, y'all. It's about being safe and having fun on Halloween. It's about your child getting to explore their creative side and coming up with a very awesome costume. My daughter's going to go as a doctor this year. That's pretty cool. She has a little scrub outfit that she's had for a while because her grandma was a registered nurse for the VA hospital, and because Willow had spent a lot of time in the NICU, and she knows that she had spent a lot of time in the NICU. She wants to become a doctor, and she wants to work with NICU babies, and I think that's incredibly amazing. So we had gotten her a scrub outfit a long time ago. It was pink, of course, and it says Dr. Bennett on it. So that is really awesome. I think it says Dr. Willow on it. So, yeah, that's going to be awesome to see her in her little scrub outfit having fun. It doesn't matter if she's not going trick-or-treating, she still gets to have the experience of trick-or-treating and Halloween. You can also take your child trick-or-treating to a shopping center. A lot of times malls will hand out candy, and that's safe because it comes from a retail store. And if somebody who's handing out candy at a retail store does something to the candy, it could be traced back to them. So it is 99.9% safer than going in a neighborhood and trick-or-treating. So check into a shopping mall. See if a shopping mall near your area is handing out candy for trick-or-treating. There is fall festivals. There is one that's going to be happening in my area of Georgia called Boo Fest. And a lot of times they have games there. They have trick-or-treat bags for kids. It's just a fun, safe alternative to trick-or-treating. You get to spend time with your kids, and your kids get to be around other kids their age. It's a lot of fun. They do have festivals that happen at pumpkin patches. They'll have like corn mazes, hay rides, marshmallow roasting, all of that fun stuff. And so a lot of times they'll have hot dogs there. Like, that's just, I guess that's the Halloween food. Who's to say that you have to go out for Halloween? You don't have to go out for Halloween to have fun. You can camp in your backyard, have a little bonfire, have a little campfire, and roast some marshmallows, make some s'mores, tell ghost stories, look up at the stars, go camping, have a slumber party, roast some hot dogs. Like, you can do a lot of fun things on Halloween, and you can stay at home. You don't have to go out and about for Halloween. Or you can look for kid-friendly haunted houses. They do have them. They do exist. And your kid can have fun at a kid-friendly haunted house. You can find a lot of activities and a lot of safe alternatives to trick-or-treating on your Chamber of Commerce or your community bulletin board. Just look it up on the internet, because a lot of times they will have a community website, and it'll tell you about events that are occurring around the holiday season. So There are so many safe alternatives to trick-or-treating, and you can still have fun, and your child can still dress up for Halloween in their favorite character costume and their favorite costume. There are activities that you can do at home with your child. Bake cookies, make some snacks, have a pizza party. There's just so much that you can do. And I know I've said that a bunch of times. You're probably tired of hearing me say that, but you can decorate for Halloween with your child. I've thrown up some spider webs and some spiders. My daughter has a skeleton mermaid that we've hung on the door. We are carving some craft pumpkins. Let your child draw a face on their pumpkin, and then you carve it out for them. There is a lot of fun things that doesn't take a lot of money, doesn't take a whole lot of effort, and you can still have some fun, family-friendly activities on Halloween. The big one for me, and I'm being nostalgic here, the big one for me is watching The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I love watching that. And Casper the Friendly Ghost. I grew up watching Casper the Friendly Ghost, so it's kind of fun that my daughter is watching that now. And yes, we do watch it on Halloween. We watch it all year round. I mean, who am I kidding? I decorate my house all year round for Halloween, but there are those pieces that only come out once a year. Make a scarecrow with your child. If you have some old clothes that you don't care about, and you can get a bale of hay for relatively cheap to stuff the scarecrow with, make a scarecrow. That's a lot of fun. I used to make scarecrows with my mom, and that's how we would decorate for Halloween. That's a lot of fun. Dress your pets up for Halloween. If your pet is okay with being dressed up for Halloween, let your kid pick out a costume for their beloved pet and dress your pet up for Halloween. I hope that you have enjoyed this informational episode. I know that it's not as long as some of the other episodes, but it is what it is. I hope that it was informational, educational, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Warrior Within. Until next time, love, hugs, and blessings. This week's special cause is NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness. There are more than 600 NAMI state organizations and affiliates across the country. Many NAMI affiliates offer an array of free support and education programs. Contact your NAMI affiliate to find out what types of programs and supports they offer. Call the NAMI helpline at 1-800-950-6264 or text helpline to 62640. Again, call the NAMI helpline at 1-800-950-6264 or text helpline to 62640. Another special cause in this episode is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The hotline is 1-800-843-5678. 1-800-843-5678. NCMEC is the nation's largest and most influential child protection organization. They lead the fight to protect children, creating resources for them and the people who keep them safe. Every child deserves a safe childhood. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Again, that hotline phone number is 1-800-843-5678.